Kimmy Maloney and Francisco Barros. What's up, my friends? Hey, you guys are the first two in here, so you got to let me know how my audio is and let me know how the quality is. Brian Levesque, bearded lens. Your audio's good, sounds great, looks great. Awesome. All right, guys, we have a 2-drink minimum. What are you guys drinking on? I got the Jefferson whiskey out. And let me tell you something. After this week, I could really, really use a drink and just hanging out with some people who are chill and want to talk about photography. Audio's good. Francisco. Peter Kaltoff. What's up, man? Lucas, how you doing, buddy? It's the best. You can thank me. Coco X. How many we got on here? 13 people right now. Let's pop out the chat right here. Coco X, I know who that is. I can't reveal, though. I can't let everybody know my business. God damn, this Jefferson's is good. Have you guys ever had this? Bourbon whiskey. It's like a small batch. I really like bourbon. Bourbon is my thing. I'm drinking coffee, but later I'll have a bowl. Got to stay focused for this chat. We all got to relax. I might have a bowl later on, too. Hello from New York. Ken, what's up, my man? I've seen you in the comments a few times, man. Good to see you in here. I love it that people who regularly post in the comments and watch the videos actually check into these live streams. A lot into scotch lately. My dad drinks scotch. Good choice, Brian. Puts the hair in your chest. I think we all need a drink after this week. Got a bottle of Tomaten single malt. Don't know it, but quite nice. Eric Benquit, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Russell Horton, started following because I also own a Z6. I respect you even more as a person. Thank you for your hard work with the channel. Russell, thank you so much. And I totally appreciate the fact that a lot of Z6 users are on here and they can open up to some other types of content. You know, after I made that video yesterday, man, I'm not even going to get into all the responses I got to it, but one guy was saying that, you know, basically it was stupid and I just need to stick to Z6 content. And I didn't reply back. It's just I bounced him from the channel. But the thing is like, I didn't make a channel just to talk about the Z6. It's here. I'm going to talk about photography. I'm going to talk about my thoughts. I'm going to talk about creative aspects, you know, all these different things. And like, you know, it's good to have people who followed for the Z6, but also appreciate the other stuff because, you know, everybody should know about their cameras, but you just can't sit and talk about gear 100% of the time. I don't even know why you would want a channel just to talk about one thing. Knob Creek 1-inch glass. You are the man. Knob Creek is just, I love that stuff. Lucas got Mishra's Sour Mash. It's Friday. Picked up a Z50 and a Z6. Wow, man. Both at the same time, huh? I mean, those are my two cameras too, so I can't blame you. Why'd you get both at the same time, though? You're going to have them for different uses, or are you going to just use the Z50 for vlogging and like everyday stuff? Oh, within 2 months. Okay. Gotcha. I'll tell you what. I just recently got this small rig. I don't know if you have this, but you really should get it. I mean, it's to flip the screen down like this and be able to vlog and see yourself with it is just amazing. And this little tripod, if you guys are interested, if you're looking for a little handheld tripod, I can get the link. It's just something I found off Amazon, but it was really cheap, and it's amazingly stable because you have obviously the small rig makes it go out to the side, so the weight's not evenly distributed, but this thing's really sweet. And I just set it up on my table. It doesn't fall at all. More than our gear. I'm a Fuji shooter, but I'm still learning from you. Appreciate your content, even the Z6 related content. Yes. I have a ton of Fujifilm shooters here. Lucas Lamont, one of my, I would consider him a actual friend that I met through this channel. He's a straight up Fuji shooter. You don't need to be a Nikon shooter to follow this channel. I use a Polaroid Insta. You can actually make some good pictures with the Polaroid Insta. I'd love to take it out for like an engagement shoot or something and see what I come up with. Why'd you get a Z6 over a Z7? Caesar, I actually made a video about this. Go check it out. But there's a few things like, I just don't believe in spending money where you don't have to spend money. Obviously, the Z6 is a lot cheaper. I don't like the crazy resolution on it. I don't think it looks good for skin tones and stuff like that. I find when I have my D850s, that 45 megapixel sensor, I spent a lot of time like cleaning up people's pores and wrinkles in their face. And I just find it's a lot easier with a 24 megapixel sensor. And me coming from the D700 and just loving that camera so much, I kind of like less megapixels. That was one of the things, plus the file management, how expensive XQD cards are. It's just overall for weddings, the Z6 was pretty much the right choice. But if I was a landscape photographer or did editorial stuff, I definitely would have bought the Z7 because you need the croppability basically. 247 Media Group, keep up the great work. Thank you, my friend. Fell in love with the Z50 first, started following your content, snagged the Z6 during COVID, just starting out, love the channel. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Z50 is like, it's just crazy. Anybody who picks up that camera just absolutely loves it. You talking often about Nikon gear, but what do you use for editing? Would you consider using Capture One now that they have a version dedicated to Nikon? Man, that's a great point. You know what? I was going to download the new Capture One because Nikon has like a free download of it just for a trial version. I was going to try it and see, how it was. But I talked about this before too. Just being in the Adobe, I use Lightroom and Photoshop. Being in the Adobe ecosystem is kind of like being in the Mac iOS ecosystem. It's like once you're in it, it's so hard to pull yourself out of it because once you've built a workflow around your business, like my editors, they accept Lightroom catalogs, and so like everything is just kind of 1, 2, 3. When I get home from a wedding, I dump my cards, I put everything into a Lightroom, or I put everything into a Lightroom catalog, and then I send it right over. So it's one of those things where you just like in the habit, it just makes it easier. But I have heard Capture One is a beast, so I think I'm going to download it and just kind of mess around, see how it goes. When you did a review of the Topcore lens, did you buy it with your D700 or just the Z6? First of all, Dwayne, what is up, my friend? Salute to you. You are one of the longtime followers of the channel, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you, man. We have had many conversations through email. I did not try it with my D700, and the reason is because the Z6 just has great infinity focusing with the peaking highlights. So I'm going to be completely honest. I really only use autofocus lenses with my D700 because I don't like having to look at that little dot at the bottom left to see if I'm in focus. It's just using the Z6 with manual focus lenses has made it so easy just to use the focus peaking and get everything in focus that I'm just, I just don't really see any reason to use a manual focus lens on my D700 anymore. But it's a great lens. If you can find one for a good price, you should definitely get it. I got the Z7 and sometimes wish I got a Z6 instead, saving money that way. Raw files are often too big. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're just too big. If you don't need the crazy croppability, why get it? 24 megapixels really is fine, and it's a much cheaper price. Chris Troy, happy Friday, Will and gang. What is up, my friend? Good to have you in here, Chris. 2 drink minimum, everyone. Even if you're drinking coffee or whatever you're drinking. Someone's asking for a link. Put a link to your YouTube. right here. Hold on, guys. I got to give a link to somebody. Share, copy link. Let's see here. 20-25 megapixels is a sweet spot, I think. Yeah, I really think so too. And honestly, Brian, I would buy, if they did a Z6 body or Z body with a 12 megapixel sensor, kind of based off what they did in the D700, I would buy that camera 100%. Because as you get better at photography, and I'm not saying that anybody who crops is not good at photography. I'm just saying as you get better, you crop a lot less. You learn to frame things as you're seeing it, and then just like crop. Like when I first started, I was doing crazy crops. Like I'd shoot something this big, I'd crop it down to this, and that's one of the reasons why I gravitated towards like the highest megapixel sensor in the beginning that I could buy, is because I knew I wanted to crop things like crazy. But then you start to understand, once you get better at composition, what the actual final image you want it to look like, and you just kind of crop it in camera. Let's see. Can you talk a little how you use your smoke pencil and how you control the smoke and light? Okay, so the smoke pencil, Barry, that's a good question. That thing is pretty sweet. So you have to, the trick is to heat it up first before you actually disperse the smoke. So I don't know if you have one yet, but if you press the button halfway, you'll hear the heater engage and it'll click. You hold that and get it really, really hot, and then you pull it all the way, and then the smoke comes out like pretty thick. So what I'll do is I'll use that usually indoors, because it's not like a smoke machine. It's just a handheld thing. And most of the time I use it for close-up shots because it brings out some great smoke, but it doesn't cover like a huge area. So I'll use it for like, close-up shots, or where I want to put a little bit of mist in the air just to get some light streaks or something like that. Chris, yeah, the megapixel thing is way overblown, I think. Yeah, the whole camera spec thing is overblown. Like what we have now is more than 99.9% of us will ever use. I mean, what do you want? You want literally your camera to make every decision and do everything for you? I mean, I don't. I want to be I don't want to just turn it on and all of a sudden, I want there to be a little bit of skill. Like I have to actually learn it a little bit. So basically now, I mean, even a Z6 pretty much does everything, especially with face tracking and all that. I mean, what else could you want from cameras? Adam Calver, hope all is well for you and all. Yeah, man, thank you very much. Spreading the positivity in here. Thank you, Adam. How did your COVID shooting project work out? It's still going. I am still shooting in my hometown and around. It's probably going to be a work of before, during, and after. So I'm still going to be shooting after and kind of doing the impacts of a post-COVID world once this thing is over. But I don't think we're out of the woods yet, guys. I think just like the lockdowns did what they were supposed to do. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but it just seems to me common sense. Like you lock people down, they're not moving around, interacting with each other, you're going to get lower rates. And now that we're going back into the world, things are probably going to ramp up again. So I don't think it's over. Unless you're looking at print from 2 inches away, which is how we view art. Yeah, that's true. The larger the print, the further you tend to stand back. Exactly. Ken Peterson, what is up, my friend? Another big supporter of the channel. Thanks for all your emails, Ken, and showing support. I really appreciate it. So in terms of editing, Ken, I do all the editing for our portfolio stuff and the stuff that I post on Instagram. And then the stuff that gets delivered in the final gallery is edited by our editors. So we use Evolve Edit. We use them, and they edit all the 99% of the gallery that goes over to the client. But the stuff that we're going to pull out and like advertise on our portfolio or social media, I do that myself. Hey, mate, drink a beer. Greetings from Greece. Love your channel. And I don't even own a Z6 or Z7. Owning a D850 and just bought my first mirrorless X100V. Hey, man, Christos, it's good to have you on the channel. And like I said before, you don't have to own a Nikon to be part of this channel, man. There's a lot of different shooters out here. It's just all people who appreciate good photography. That's really what it is. Greece, that's awesome. Yeah. I heard all 50 states have reopened. Can you share your thoughts on how your plan is to navigate your wedding business in a post-COVID world? Man, Kerwin, good to see you, by the way, Kerwin. You're another long-term supporter of this channel. And I really appreciate all you're always leaving thoughtful comments, and I do appreciate that. So our business obviously took a pretty big hit. We've only had 2 official cancellations, but we've had a lot of, people changing up their plans, so they're turning their big ceremonies into just like very small little gatherings, social distancing. Like I'm actually shooting a wedding tomorrow, but it's just a ceremony with like 5 people there. I mean, that's it. So, obviously the prices are lower. No one's asked for their deposits back or anything like that. We have tight contracts and we're pretty good relationships with all of our clients, but we're literally taking it day by day. I personally think that there's probably going to be a second wave and we're going to be hit with a lot of people not wanting to have their weddings. But I just can't worry about that, man. Like I really can't. I've been through so many situations in my life where I didn't know what was going to happen. I was under a tremendous amount of stress. Things looked like they were so dark, and it was all a waste of time worrying about it because look at where I am. Like I'm here doing what I love to do. I'm talking to a bunch of photographers all around the world on my YouTube channel, and I have enough food. My family's happy and healthy. Like that's how I think about things. I just can't worry about the future more than just doing what I can to take care of the clients that reach out and say, hey, this is what we're planning, But it is scary. I mean, it's a scary time. Let's see here. Totally true. Z6 is more than I could ever want. Yep. We ever go shoot high-res JPEGs? Yeah. Hey, Michelle. How's it going? You donated to the channel. I appreciate everything that you've done for me and the community here. Would you ever go to shoot high-res JPEGs? Yes. I shoot high-res JPEGs like exclusively with the Z50. They're phenomenal cameras. All the Z lines, the sensors are great, and the image quality is spectacular. So when I'm just going to shoot like anything non-paid related, the only stuff I shoot in RAW is when it's paid. The rest of the stuff I just shoot in JPEG. I really do. Oh, by the way, your video about what's going on over there was really good. Thanks for that. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. That video yesterday that I made, it was really sad that I had to turn off the comments. And I appreciate a lot of you guys encouraging me to put the video back up because I'm the type of person that I can't live with myself if I don't express myself. And I took it down for maybe like 3 hours and I was just thinking about it the whole time. And I was like, look, I can't let a mob of people who don't want to have conversations or just are angry shut down things. I'm going to put my opinion out there regardless. And my opinion is the furthest thing from hate. It may be different than yours. It may not be the same, but the problem is we can't talk anymore. No one can have conversations. Everybody just says, this is what I think, deal with it. And if you don't agree with it, you're my enemy. And that has never worked throughout history. You have to be able to, I can't remember who it was, but it's the quote was, it's a mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. And that's what I try and do. I'm open to anybody else's point of view on things. If you have, a view that's different from mine and you want to express that, man, I'll listen to you. And if it makes me think, I have no problem changing my perspective. That's how things move forward. But when you just shut it down or people get pissed and then you just retract your view and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say that because that upsets people. Unless you're spreading a message of hate, that's ridiculous. Everybody should be able to speak how they feel. So thank you guys for encouraging me to put it back up. Ken, I worked professionally with the D3, D700, 12 megapixels was plenty. So true. Plus the colors were even better than my Z7 or 750, D750 megapixels are overrated. So true. Yeah, the colors from the D3 and the D700 are just incredible. I can't get the same out of my Z6, but Z6 is great. But just something special about that sensor. Any experience and thought in using manual focus lenses, not connected to megapixels editing? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Peter, good to see you. We've got a lot of people from Greece here. Yeah, my experience on using manual focus lenses, if you have a Z camera, get all the manual focus lenses you can and get the right adapters so you can focus to infinity. Using manual focus lenses on Z cameras is fucking phenomenal. Excuse my language. It's so much fun. The peaking highlights, especially if you're like me and you shoot in black and white. I shoot in black and white. I set the peaking highlights to yellow. So the yellow really stands out against the black and white. And I can just focus so fast. I can see everything with it. So a lot of those lenses, they're cheap because nobody wants to manual focus. But they're still amazing. So I would definitely get one. Or two or three or four. And just use it. It's fun. Meek Photos, what's up, my man? How are you streaming in monochrome? So this is the same. All my black and white on my videos, it's never graded, it's never edited. All it is good lighting and the monochrome picture profile in the Z6. That's it. No secrets. Connor, right on. Keep up the great work. Thanks, buddy. Haven't been here for a while. Big supporter of your education and reviews. Thanks, Michelle. I really appreciate it. I do. Dwayne, they are predicting Olympus is going down. What do you see is going to happen with all the camera companies as they compete against cell phones with COVID? Yeah, Dwayne, the camera industry is going to be changing, but everything is about to change. I mean, we got like 42 million people unemployed in the United States. I mean, businesses just all over are going to be changing their models, and things are just going to look a lot different over the next 5 years, I think. I don't believe that Nikon is going to go under, but I said this in my last live stream. I'm not worried about if they do. I have a great camera setup here. I believe that they're really invested in the Z line and they care about it. You know, they've done multiple firmware updates. They're hammering it out with the lens lineup. And it's a $1 billion company. But I'm obviously not involved in the talks there. So I just don't know what exactly is going to happen. But the thing is I just don't worry about it, because if Nikon goes under and I got to use my cameras until they die and then I got to go shoot Canon or something like that, that's what I got to do. But I can't worry about it. Let's see here. Adam Calver, 100% sure there will be a second wave. Some are furloughed till October in the UK. Now, even though we're slowly opening up. Yeah, Adam, I do believe there's going to be a second wave. I tend to not listen to the media. I listen to, now that we have the internet, podcasts, things like that, you can actually listen to the real virologists, epidemiologists, clinicians that are studying this stuff. And, they're all warning of a second wave. So, but we can't keep everything locked down forever. I mean, you just got to take your chances, I guess. I mean, and be smart about it. Like, I'm not getting on a plane for a while. That's for damn sure. But we can't just stay in our house forever, It's a bad situation. Very good decision to disable comments. There's too much craziness going on lately. Yeah, Guido, I think you're right. I mean, I don't like to censor the channel unless people are being like really overtly rude. I've had to boot a few people off. But I understand that this is a really touchy subject and things aren't 100% like clear right now. People just go off their emotions in the beginning, and, I'm just trying to inject a different side, a different opinion. I feel like, I was having this conversation with my son today. It's so important for people in the middle to speak up, for people who are who care about the general community and people on both sides, the people who aren't polarized, because there's a lot of us out there. It's so important that we speak up and we say things. So, people want to attack me because I say something like that, or I stand up for, the middle, people who are not on either side 100%. Let's find some common ground here. But it's YouTube. I follow this channel, Carpo, this guy Carpo, and he just does a lot of philosophy talks and everything. And he said something great. He was like, the internet is a megaphone for crazy people, for the insane. And it really is. I mean, I've never seen this level of crazy until I started a YouTube channel and I got like thousands of subscribers. I mean, you guys would not believe some of the stuff that I've had to deal with over the pettiest things. It's so I just it's got to the point now, if things start getting wild in the comments or something like that, I just got to bounce people. There's just too much information coming at me. Let's see. What else we got? A lot of comments here. Will, can you explain the connection to Perla? So Perla is, well, a pearl is my wife's birthstone, Sarah's birthstone. And we were thinking up names for our business, and I wanted something that was a different language because I like the sound of foreign words. So we were thinking of something French first, and then we thought of Perla. And I said pearl, and then she thought of Perla because it's the Spanish definition of pearl. Can't live in a society and be free from society. Very true. Very true. Seems on these social platforms, it's harder to find adults that can have a good, intelligent conversations. I always respect others' views, and it's how we get better. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Chris. We're all adults here. I mean, even if you're not, if you're younger or something, I mean, this is a place where people can have different views. They can talk about different things. You don't have to agree with everything that I say. It's funny. I get comments every once in a while, like people flaming me for saying something, like a technique. I'll make a video and I'll be like, oh, I do it this way. And they're like, blah, 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 pointing fingers. It's like, dude, I never said that this is the only way to do it. It's just how I do it. People follow me because they want to get some different perspectives on things. But I never said that for anything, that this is the 100% way. I'm no like prodigy or anything like that. I'm just a guy who likes to talk about photography. Hey, from London, UK. Everyday Dad. What's up, my friend? Hopefully you're safe out there in the UK. Got the AFS Nikon 85 f4. Love the bokeh. Or f1.4. I have looked at the new 85 1.8S. Color aberration is pretty bad on the 1.4. I use a Z6 and D500. What are your thoughts on these lenses? So we have the 85 1.8S, and it's crazy. I mean, I made a review on it. It's just insane. But what I would say is if you have the money, maybe wait a little bit to see what Nikon's going to do with the 1.2 lenses, because if they bring out an 85 1.2, I'll be selling the 1.8 and they'll keep that. So, and they just announced that they were going to speed up their lens roadmap. So I'd maybe wait a month or two just to see. Do you use manual focus at events like weddings? Yeah, no, Kimmy, I don't. It is tough. I'm tempted to in a lot of situations, but with weddings, it's just so risky because you can't miss the shot. I mean, some of those moments are so fleeting. They just go by so fast, and I just can't risk it. On the D700, maybe it's the combination between lower megapixels and a good sensor. Amazing how good 10 megapixels look. I'd take that over 100 megapixels on a cell phone. Yeah, so the thing with the D700 sensor, it's actually a 12 megapixel sensor, not 10, but the megapixels are bigger on it to fill up that whole full frame sensor, so you gather more light. And I personally think that the rendition of the grain is more like, or the rendition of the noise at higher ISOs is more like film grain. I've noticed the Z50 iFocus grabs faster than the Z6. Is it a setting issue? Did the firmware update? Lucas, I've heard people say that before, that the Z50 autofocus grabs faster, but since the 3.0 firmware update on the Z6, I don't notice any difference. I think they're both just phenomenal, but low light Z6, for me, I get more hit rates, more keepers. Cameras can't die. There will always be the art of photography. Things go better in time. It's a transitional period for sure. Exactly. It is a transitional period. There's always going to be, people still buy old cameras, online, and I'm just not worried about the camera brands. You guys know, I'm not caught up in the social dynamic of like the gossip about the camera companies. And I'm not saying if you want to talk about that, I'm not putting you down or anything. This is the thing. Somebody like me who's highly sensitive to the world, and I just feel things like in the world a lot. I have to seriously filter the things that I take in and the things that I worry about. I cannot keep worrying about or keep focusing on all the problems that could go wrong, because a person like me gets overwhelmed really quickly. So I have to really just kind of keep a narrow view of the things that I find important and focus on those. Nikon explained in the last earnings explanation that they'll push for the Z lens line to go faster. So there's hope. Yeah. Where the hell is the 7200S I pre-ordered months ago? Ken, tell me about it, man. I have I've had that thing on order since January or whenever it got released. I was like the day after it got announced, I put my my order in through NPS, and yeah, I haven't even gotten any notifications yet. So here in Israel, we went out of quarantine during the last couple of weeks. Now the numbers are going up again. We need education on the matter so people know how to act responsibly. Peter, exactly. And welcome from Israel. That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people in America here, they think that, like, just because the numbers are going down, that means it's over. The virus didn't go anywhere. It's just people haven't been interacting. They haven't been going to work. They haven't been, mixing with each other. So obviously the numbers are going to go down. But now that we're going back outside, I mean, it's going to go up again. So, like, I don't understand the don't wear a mask. I don't understand that because I get that it's a pain in the ass. I don't want to wear a mask either. It sucks. But it seems like the least I could do to, like, slow it down, even if it's less effective than they say it is, which I don't think it is. I mean, from who I'm listening to, and it's not CNN, the doctors, the epidemiologists, they say it helps. So if I got to wear a mask to, like, get back to real life anytime soon, man, I'm going to do it. This COVID thing has trashed a lot of supply chains. Hope that comes out soon. Yep, it did smash a lot of the supply chains for sure. Yes, crazy people hiding behind their keyboards. It's nuts. Yeah, Kimmy, you wouldn't believe. Social media, the ones that are gobby wouldn't say anything in real life. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, people go online and they say things that they would never say to anybody to their face. They would never say any of that stuff. The restraint just goes away when they're online for some reason. So people are pissed off at the world. They try and take it out on internet personalities, but they don't realize that, like, hey, I'm just a regular person. I'm not some like an enigmatic internet figure. My name's Will. I'm a real dude. I live in Massachusetts. I shoot weddings. Like, just trying to help people out and create some conversation in a photography community. But, like, people have issues. They start to lash out. It's weird. Social media, the ones that, yeah. Love the channel. Being a newbie, this might have been asked. But is there anything... Oh, wait, hold on. I'm losing some of these comments here. They're coming in pretty fast. Is there anything you really miss about film photography that you wish was brought over to the digital realm? Well done, sir. Thank you, Eli, for the support of the channel. The thing about film photography is it slows you down. And it makes you really think about your composition, your lighting, and what's exactly happening. And it makes you anticipate the shot. Once you get better and you start to progress, you almost see like a frame ahead in time when you're shooting. I get so dialed in, and Sarah gets so pissed sometimes because, like, when I'm at weddings, I can't listen to anybody else. Like, she'll say my name 5 times before I, like, respond to something. And it's because I'm observing like crazy. I'm very dialed into the scene. And when you only have a certain amount of shots before your film's out, you highly anticipate what's going on. And I believe that it really strengthens your, not only creativity, but your compositional skills. Just because you're forced to use your brain more. Hate to run, my girlfriend is ordering it. Good luck to all you. Ken, good to see you, man. Cheers. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. I love your vintage lens vids. Bought 2. Any more vintage lens coming? Yes, I am doing. Wayne, appreciate the support. I have a 28 millimeter vintage lens review coming very soon. That's actually going to be the next video that's out. Everyone from Germany, late once again. Did I miss anything important? No, not really, man. We're just chopping it up. And graphics, thank you very much for the support. I've seen you around the comments. Gadgets and toys, what's up, man? Wolf, how's it going in Singapore, buddy? Is everything all right with you guys? What's your drink? For me, it's 15-year-old Glen Live It on Ice. I am, Guido, drinking Jefferson's. I'm a bourbon guy. Bourbon whiskey is my favorite. Are you the type of person that takes photos on your personal vacations? Yes. Man, you should talk to my kids. They are so... They get so pissed when I'm out there taking photos because or when we're just doing random stuff, because I always have the Z50 with me and I'm just documenting constantly. You know, I can't tell you, like I have just archives of photos saved, and sometimes I'll go through them in our old house and, you know, when the kids were younger and stuff like that. And it isn't about even the artistic nature of the composition. It's just memories that I have. And I know that it doesn't have to be, you know, the most unbelievable shot that I've ever taken, but as long as I'm documenting my kids and their life and my wife and me together and our family, that's what really matters. So yeah, I take photos all the time. Hey, Will, hope you're doing good. Internet issues here, so in and out. Hey, John, how's it going, buddy? Longtime supporter. Peter, Ken, hope you're not testing people. Has been issues involving politics, unfortunately. What about the 105 1.4? Yeah, that lens is a beast. I know some other photographer friends who use it, and it's insane. If you can afford it, get it. I've never owned it, but I know a lot of, especially wedding photographers, it would just swear by that lens. Hello from NYC. How you doing, man? Jose Flores. Hope you're safe out there, buddy. Pazipano. What's up, buddy? Main reason I haven't bought a Z is the one card slot. I know it's a topic that's been discussed so much, but I can't take the risk of failure at a wedding christening. Just my point of view. Yeah, Christos, it's all about your level of risk tolerance, I guess. I personally am totally fine with the XQD. Plus, like I said, you know, you guys know we shoot. It's me and Sarah. We both have 2 cameras on us. I'm much more concerned about a shutter dying than an XQD failing. But it's all about risk tolerance, man. I bought the Z6 a week ago, and I love it. You're the man. Thanks for your honest and non-biased view. Appreciate it. It is non-biased, guys. You know, I don't have any sponsorship deals. I really don't like the idea of doing any type of like sponsored videos or anything like that. This stuff is purely 100% supported by Patreon members and hitting the join button on YouTube. So like, I just do it because I like it, you know. And I'm just not the type of person. I can't pretend to be something I'm not. Like, I can't just play ball for, like, you know, popularity or something. Like, you're either going to love me or you're going to hate me, basically. Brian Sanchez, what's up, Will? You mentioned that you went out to shoot at other riots. It'd be cool if you share some of those photos along with your thoughts and experiences when you were there. So, my favorite... First of all, what's up, Brian? My favorite shot is the thumbnail from that, the last video I posted about the riots. That thumbnail is the one I shot in Ferguson. I was at Ferguson, the riots there. I was there for 2 days, and that was, man, that was insane. That was insane. I just saw like some of the worst with people and some of the best with people. Like I was saying in the video, there was a good amount of people there that just like really cared about the community and like what they were standing up for. Michael Brown, he got shot and like he was unarmed. And there's a lot of people there who really cared about that. But then there was a lot of people there that were just wanting to cause chaos. But it made some like really good photo opportunities. If you guys have any type of desire at all to do any reporting type photography, journalism, you know, just stuff on the ground, I would say pull on that thread because it's extremely rewarding and meaningful work. You really feel like you're making a difference. But you got to really bankroll everything yourself. I mean, magazines aren't really hiring people to do that anymore. Guido, open the U.S. I want to fly back. Everything can lock down again. What's up, Will? Oh, I already went over that one. Sorry, wrong person. Was trying to respond to Chris Troy. We as Americans want our freedoms, but don't want the responsibility of freedom. Profound. And you're right. There is a huge responsibility in freedom. People just want to have things taken. They want complete freedom until they need help. And that's not the way it is. You can either have wild, unbridled freedom, or else you have to live in a society and take into account your community members. You just have to. There's 350 million people in this country. It's just too many. Just too many. Kid woke up crying. Gotta go. Look forward to the rest. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Peter. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Let's see. Hi, Will from Western Mass. The Image Inc. How you doing? Hey, I love your posts and all the vintage stuff that you post on Instagram. It's really good stuff. I love seeing people use those old vintage lenses. Thumbs up on the bourbon. Cheers. Lockdown prove effective. Daily new case going down to single digits. If all goes well, lockdown should be open up in phase by mid-June. That is great to hear, my friend. Great to hear. You guys did a pretty good job in Singapore. Everyone's like, and that's one of the things. I just wish during our lockdowns, like, people could just, like, a little bit, like Singapore, Wolf, he's one of the big subscribers of this channel, and he's been a huge supporter. And we've been talking about, like, what's going on in Singapore as opposed to the United States. And, like, everyone in Singapore is just like, okay, we have a threat. Let's help each other out. Let's all come together and do this. Over here in America, I mean, we're just a different story. Everybody's got their own opinion. Everybody thinks they're right. One of the greatest things about photography, the ability to go back in time. Yes, Jeff. And that's what I'm talking about with photographing my family and just not even really focusing on, like, making unbelievable, print-worthy photos, just documenting the time. When I was actually going through the archives of some family stuff that I took like 4 years ago, and I just couldn't believe how different my kids looked. It's a time machine. You go back and you just see that stuff like, oh, man, I remember that day. It's special. I love Crown Royal. Go purple. Crown Royal was what my mother drank. That's a good drink for sure. Yo, dude, love your stuff. I have a Z6. Have you ever tried automotive photography? I haven't. I like automotive photography, though. Some people do it really well. I'm from Scotland and Great Britain. Stephen, welcome. Can you talk a bit about how the pandemic is affecting your wedding season? Sorry. Yes, I did talk about that, but I can go over it again. So we had like 2 cancellations so far, but a lot of people are rescheduling their weddings or restructuring their weddings to be more like small and just a few people at the ceremony. Like, I'm shooting a wedding this weekend tomorrow, and it's just 5 people there, and everyone's social distancing. It's outside. So we've lost money because people are going to pay less because there's less time on site there. We're restructuring for our clients. We want to give them what we can. So, and we understand this is affecting everybody. So we've definitely lost money, and we've rescheduled a lot to 2021. So those good dates have been taken up. The next 2 years are going to be tough, but hey, I'm shooting photos, so I'm grateful. I'm in Portugal. Luckily, I have a house here. Really no hardship. Other than that, my wife is in California, and I'm here. Man, that sucks. You guys are separated, Guido. Rental car is killing my camera budget. Dude, I totally get it. It's expensive. Hi from Greece. Opinion for Z50 versus D500. Keep going with this channel. Stay healthy. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. I'd personally go with the Z50, and that's not to say the D500 is not a better camera, because probably overall it is. But man, I just love the Nikon mirrorless line. I just love it so much. The best thing about the Z50 is this thing can just be taken anywhere. D500 is a pretty big camera. This thing is just so small. This little pancake lens can fit just anywhere. It takes unbelievable video. It's just a breeze and fun to shoot with. And I think the experience of the camera is just as important as the autofocus or the image quality. I really do. Because it makes you want to shoot. Mike and Chris, I have the D500, which exclusively for sports photography. I also have a Z6 for portraits. Love them both for what they do. Yeah, if you're shooting sports, D500 is definitely better. We're heading downtown to take some shots. Thanks, man. Brian, good to see you, buddy. Good photographer can kill it with almost any camera. Like the gear, but the art is number one. Chris, you said it, man. That's just a knowledge bomb right there, and that's what I've been trying. That's like the whole point of this whole channel, is getting better at being a photographer, not getting better at your gear selection or what you have in your bag. I mean, I do some of those videos because, hey, let's be honest, it draws in people. But this is so funny. Like, this is my mindset, is like, okay, what I really want to talk about is photography. But I know if I just talk about just blatant photography topics, it doesn't grow the same as it does as talking about a piece of gear. So what I do is I put out videos with, gear titles or things like that, but I always make sure that the content is useful and it's not just based around gear. It's aligning people come to my channel. They're like, okay, like I'll click on it because it said something about this camera, but then they're like, oh my God, this guy's talking about real photography techniques. That's how I rope them in. Hassan, hello, buddy. Good to see you. Wait till you're married 44 years. Our wedding photos look sad to say taken with Instamatic. We look like kids. Man, my wedding photos are already starting to look old school. I love the Z50. Handled it once in the store. Would like to replace my X100F with a Z50 to get the same processing, handling, and lenses on the Z6. Just waiting for the 28mm to show up. Yeah, it's the lens selection. The Z lenses are just so good. You guys know I shoot all my videos with the Z lenses, and like probably 80% of my shots. I still have some F lenses, the 58 1.4 and the 28 1.4, but yeah, the Z lenses are where it's at. Best camera is the one you carry with you at all times. D850 stays in the bag for my personal moments. I use the X100V 95% of the time. Yeah, that X100 is really nice. I had an X100F for a while. I didn't love it, but the image quality was great. You take pretty good care of your health. So many worry about COVID, but smoke, don't exercise, poor diet. What gives? Yeah, I mean, you're so right. I just wish that there was Barry, that's a huge point. Thank you for bringing that up. I just wish that people would start focusing on, like, instead of like just hoping for a vaccine, what are we doing to improve our health and our immune system? Like, no one wants to talk about that stuff. They don't want to talk about, like, you don't have to be like me. You don't have to lift rocks in the backyard or anything like that. Like, you just walk every day. You just try and eat better. You just stop the processed food. And, like, you could go back to it if you want after the pandemic. But right now, let's get our immune systems up, Well, you gave me the idea of using the Z50 pancake lens on my Z6. Never thought of that. Yeah, I love that. I love putting it on the Z6. It's great. That pancake lens is sweet. When Nikon releases more Z lens pancake lenses, I'm going to be just buying them all. I wish I had rocks to lift in the backyard. I know, dude. I'm so lucky that I have it, man. Like, I miss the gym. I really do. But I found these big pieces of granite rocks, and I just go in my backyard, and I literally just deadlift them, lift them up over my head, and, just kind of work out in the backyard with rocks every day. I still get sore, so it works. Currently saving for a Z6. Will be upgrading from a D3400 unless Nikon introduces a Z70. We'll pass down the D3400 to the kids to learn on. They love to take pics with me. Man, Hassan, that's great. I started off with the D3200. That was like my first digital camera. And, man, that's good for you for holding on to that and then just waiting till the time is right to upgrade. Because those lower end D3000, series cameras are still great. I took some of my favorite photos ever with the D3200. Ever. I still have them. I'm loving my D700, usually in the passenger seat every day. It's a beast. It is a beast. I'm tired of doing push-ups. Yeah, seriously, I can't do calisthenics over and over and over again every single day. I need to lift actually something. So I don't know if you can go around, maybe try and find some rocks. Dude, I love my Z6 and the D750 I love also. Now I have aligned lenses. Need to change my D750. Is a Z50 a good backup or just better with another Z6 or even going for a Z7 as a main camera? Dude, the Z50 is a phenomenal camera. And I made a video on, it was called Don't Buy the Z50 Without Watching This. I feel like the Z50 isn't my first choice for paid work. Now, that does not mean that you can't make money with the Z50. It's a phenomenal, capable camera. But I just feel like when you're doing paid work, you really should have two of the same cameras. So everything is just blanket. And you don't have to switch out anything. Like, the cards are the same. All the menu settings are the same. All the buttons are the same. So when you're going back and forth and you're switching, you don't have to think about it. Here in Arkansas, doctors are afraid to tell you to lose weight in fear of you switching doctors. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why can't people have conversations anymore? Why can't people... This guy just left a comment. Wolf Tick says, here in Arkansas, doctors are afraid to tell you to lose weight in fear of you switching doctors. Like, people just don't want to have conversations. Uncomfortable. I heard this other quote, and it said, your success in life is directly related to how many uncomfortable conversations you're willing to have. It's true. Nobody wants to have uncomfortable conversations. Sydney, what's up, buddy? I've been waiting for you to show up. What do you got? What are you drinking on, bud? I got Jefferson's right here. Bourbon. Good to see you in here, my friend. I'm French in shooting nature and insect photos on the D90. I love it. Welcome, my friend from France. Z-lenses are so good. Marketing is so bad. And that is so true. You know, Nikon has always been a smaller player. They've always made phenomenal products, but they've always been, the underdog. They never really spent money on influencing and marketing and things like that. I mean, obviously they spent some on marketing, but it was always Canon and Sony that did more. And Canon used to, in the 90s, they were trying to knock Nikon out just like the same that Sony did. I have my D3300, even the D40 that I use for colors seem to pop. I have a D50 even. They're not worth anything, so I keep them. One time in your life. Congratulations for your channel. From Portugal. Samuel, thank you very much. People don't talk and listen. They just espouse their point. Exactly. People don't even care about the truth. They just want to say things and make them feel comfortable. Or hear things that placate them. And the truth is never really, it's never really what you want to hear. I guess sometimes it is, but most of the time the truth isn't what you want to hear. And here's the thing, right? It's tough for me to be a YouTuber because I speak the truth and I say things that people don't want to hear sometimes. And people usually hate those types of people. It's true. Like, Martin Luther King, for instance. People think he has such a legacy now. Like, everybody loved the guy. But when he was around, people hated him. A lot of people they assassinated the guy. I'm not comparing myself to Martin Luther King. I'm just saying that people who speak the truth usually aren't really well received. They really aren't. At least until they die. My next lens should have been the 24-200. Better, no date in sight. Yeah, the 24-200, man. I love super zooms. I really do. We're just discussing Nikon's lack of communication. Yeah, it seems like they just don't really care. They did a thing with Taylor Jackson, which is really good. He's got a pretty good following there, and he really highlighted a lot of the Nikon strengths. I think he did a good job. So true about the conversation. When I served in the military in the 2000s, people were not afraid to tell you when your shit stunk. Now you can't even criticize someone without being labeled. That's what I'm saying. Like, when did everybody think? When did everybody think it's like their right to not ever hear something that they don't like? What? Seriously, you want to live in a world like that? 85-18G or 85-18D for portraits. Well, if you're using you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. The 18G is cheap and it's awesome. I'd go with that. Unless you got money to burn, the 18D is great. But only if you are using a DSLR and it can autofocus. It doesn't autofocus with the Z6. Even in the military, people are afraid to speak truth and more people are afraid to listen. Yep. I shoot weddings with the Z6 coming from the D500. Can I get a Z50 as a backup camera or just an old D800, D810? I'm on a small budget. What do you think? So here's the thing, and this is my personal experience. The reason when I first bought the Z6, I had the D850. So originally for my weddings before, I was using the D850 and the D810 combo. I got the Z6 and I kept the D850, and I was going to try and interchange between the two. I couldn't do. I did like 2 weddings with that combo, the mirrorless and then DSLR, and I just couldn't switch my mind fast enough, because the thing is I shoot with 2 primes. So like I'm constantly picking up both cameras and taking different pictures. And going from the optical viewfinder to the EVF was it was a bottleneck for me. So I would say if you can't afford it, get another mirrorless, or keep what you have and save up for another mirrorless. Do you think it's kind of funny that Nikon, who always been a black swan and shooting video behind cameras, made a fantastic video camera? Really laughed about it. Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy how good the video capabilities and quality of the Z6 or the Z line is. And I mean, it's really just, there's no good reason not to buy a Z camera, unless you just don't like the feel of it in your hand. Would you recommend a certain 35 vintage lens? 35 vintage lens, man, you know, it depends on what you want to spend. I really like the Nikon 35 f2D. I really love that one. But you know what? I don't own any vintage 35 millimeter manual focus lenses, so I'd have to think about that. Saying that everyone had to receive an award or trophy if one person was going to get one. Yeah, it's so true. Thanks once again. I just love the Z6. Well, thank you, my friend, for being part of the community. Glenn Danielson, what's up, my friend? Good to see you, buddy. I think Ricci is a Nikon school teacher. Yeah, I've seen a few of his videos. He seems like a really knowledgeable guy. I love more people talking about the Z-line, so more power to that guy for sure. Waiting on the 55 Petzval lomography and brass. Yeah, I almost bought a Petzval lens from lomography. I couldn't pull the trigger on it because it was so expensive, and I just feel like I wouldn't use it all the time. So I just got a couple Helios. What are the 2 most underrated Nikon lenses? Man, the 135 AIS definitely is underrated. That is a phenomenal lens. And I would say, man, the 58-1.4 is probably, I don't know if it's technically underrated, but the thing is, it's a polarizing lens. It seems to have a lot of controversy around it. Some people absolutely love it and some people hate it. But I think that everybody should learn that 58 focal length, and just the quality of the pictures and the colors are so good on that lens. Worth every penny. Yeah, he's a Nikon employee, but I still find him fair. He doesn't pump up a lens if it's not worth it. Yep. Watch Facebook channel on Z bodies. A few guys are switching to the D780. Crazy? No, I don't think it's crazy if you're going back to a DSLR. It's all about what you're comfortable with. Some people just aren't comfortable with mirrorless bodies. So, you know, you can't blame them. I have the 135. Agreed. Yeah, it's good. Throwing a dark horse for an underrated Nikon lens. 40 2.8 macro. Good quality and cheap. Oh, also the 60 2.8 D lens. Macro lens, that's a crazy lens too, and it's so cheap. It's like $160, $175 you can find it for. I love my 58 1.4G. Christos, we're on the same boat, my friend. I hear you. Use your Z-line full frame lenses on the Z50. How do they perform? Yeah, I do. Sometimes I'll use them when I just have my Z50 out, or like I said, when I'm out and about, I always just bring my Z50. My Z6s rarely come out unless I'm working. But yeah, sometimes if I know I'm going to do some portraits or something like that, I'll bring the 85 or the 50 and I slap it on the Z50, and they work great. Have they got the bugs out of the FTZ adapter with third-party lenses yet? You know what? I don't use any third-party lenses. I don't have anything that's not Nikon. So I haven't noticed anything with the Nikon lenses. The focusing on the Z lenses is faster. There's a slight delay with the FTZ adapter and using G lenses, but it's not anything that would slow me down or deter me from using it at a wedding. You just can kind of notice it. Kimmy, recently picked up the 51.S to go with my Z50 or Z6. I love it. Will, you were so right about this lens. I love the way it gets me closer to my subject in those images. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like that 50, that I don't know if you saw that, Kimmy, if you saw that video on how I shot the whole wedding with one lens. That was the lens that I used. And it's just so perfect all around. It's small, it's compact, and it just takes the most breathtaking photos. And it works so well with the body. It's worth every penny. I can't believe it's only like, it's like $500. It seems cheap for that lens. Love my gear and gear talk, but I'm surprised how little technique, artistic talk there is. Do those videos just tank? You know what? I feel like my channel has a good following of people who like really care about what I'm posting. So if I do a video on the technique, I really have to pay attention to the thumbnail and the title to make sure it gets some reach. Because even if the content's good, it just doesn't reach the same amount of people if I don't put a lot of work into the thumbnail and the title. So if you guys, just so you guys know, if you ever see any video that doesn't have like a Z6 or some type of gear, click on it and support me, because it's going to be something about like technique or the artistic side, and I'm really trying to spread the message. So I don't know, sometimes the videos bomb, but I just create. It's funny, like I see some YouTubers making videos on like everything is so scheduled, and like they have like 10 videos in the queue, and I record on this day and this day and this day, and that's it. Like I just literally wake up, have a cup of coffee, come downstairs, flip on the camera, and just talk about things and just post it immediately. There's not a lot of like thought about, how do I make this go viral, or like how do I really increase the rate. And I'm not sounding like holier than thou. I probably should think about that stuff. It's just not really my style. Oops. Well, how you achieve your beautiful monochrome in your vids? Lighting, my friend. I built the 50-1.8G and the 50-1.8S, I assume, on my D700. I also use it on my Z6, thinking hard to move to the Z for silent autofocus. Dude, Wolf, it is silent. When I'm telling you it's silent autofocus, it's silent. Not a fan of all this versus that on YouTube, but do you think one of the reasons Nikon sort of gets second billing with the Z line is the lenses versus the Canon 1.2? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, Nikon definitely needs to release like a 1.4 or 1.2 line of lenses for sure. But I think it really comes down to their influencer marketing. Everybody's on YouTube looking for people to tell them what to buy. And there's just a lot of people. Sony has locked it down with people. They've really got the influencers in the pocket and just made it super easy for them to talk about their gear. So I did see that video, and your points were spot on. Thank you, Kimmy. Have you done a video on your 85S? Yes, I did. It's I compared it to the 1.4G and the 1.8G. Breath of fresh air on here, and a Boston guy. Thanks for the content. D-Lit, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Well, yes, I love force myself to use one lens all day. I think that makes us better photographers who are forced to think about our composition. Yes, Chris, you're right. Because the thing is when people are presented with too many options stifle creativity, because you cannot, when you have too many options, you're not coming up with, there's always a solution. You're not coming up with new ideas. Long Rider, thank you so much for the $5, man. I appreciate it. I use a silent autofocus when shooting the owls in my backyard, and they really appreciate it. Yes. I use a silent autofocus when I first got, or silent shutter, when I first got the Zs. In a few ceremonies, it was really nice, but we ran into banding at one of the ceremonies, and it wasn't a Z6. I mean, all mirrorless cameras will run into banding issues with silent shooting in certain lighting conditions. They were just really shitty lights, and so I just don't use it anymore. But it is pretty silent. Spot on about the 62.8D. Throw it on my Z50. It does everything. Ken Wheeler, angry photographer, convinced me. Love him or hate him. That's a great lens. I still use the 62.8D. I still use that at weddings for macro shots, rings, things like that. And until they come out with the S line, I'm not getting rid of it. Guys, so many people think the gear is going to make them better photographers, and none. A good photographer can practically use a disposable camera and toast these YouTube tech reviewers. Man, Chris, you said it. You said it. Like, it doesn't matter your gear. If you give me something, give me any camera in the world. Just show me how to autofocus. Show me the autofocus settings. Show me how to, make a few different, really just the autofocus modes, I will shoot that thing and I will get you some good photos out of it. Many times I got people asking me, what is the next lens I should get? My response is always, if you have to ask, you probably don't need to. Just use your kit lens until you grow out of it. Man, I wish I could give you a cheers right now, Wolf. That's exactly what you should be telling people. If you really have to ask what lens you should get next in terms of, a focal range, like, oh, should I get a 35 or a 50 or an 85? You probably don't need it, because the only time I buy something now is I know specifically what I need. And I use my stuff to the fullest, and I don't buy anything unless I absolutely need it. We ever host a photo critique? Yeah. Oh, I get so many, Hassan, I got so many plans for this channel. For sure, I'll do a photo critique. Will you get the Nikon 51? Yes. I will definitely, Julio, I will be getting the 51.2S when it comes out for sure. Gear matters to agree. I'm not busting out of my Codex DC210 Plus with 0.98 megapixels anytime soon. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yep, I also have the 105 2.8D macro. Yeah, it's a phenomenal lens too. So many actual photographers here, right on. See, that's what I mean. Like, this channel is really like a beacon for real photographers. I mean, even if you're just starting off, like, man, we are not a community of people who are, that think we're like greater than everybody. Like, you should see the comments, like, look through it. People asking questions. If I can't get to it, other people chime in and answer. Everybody's cool here and just wants to help out. One thing I love about this channel. Let me check my battery, guys. All right, we're good right now. I'm not a photographer, only a hobbyist. You are a photographer, sir, if you're here. I've actually been tempted to make a video, man, a few times about, like, what constitutes an actual pro photographer and, like, the debate, like, when can you call yourself pro? Photographer front have to be by profession. Don't have to be by profession. Exactly. Any inspiring or innovating photographers to look for? I have to get inspired and find new ideas. Man, I hope you, Brian, did you check out Lucas Lamont? Check out Lucas Lamont. He's, you can just search through my list of followers on my Instagram page, or go to the video that I posted about his photo book. The video is called You Should Buy This Photography Book. Check him out. He's great. Also, Kevin Mullins. Kevin Mullins is, man, he's great. Another Fujifilm shooter, all black and white. Well, I will admit to getting a bout of gear acquisition syndrome every now and then, man. I hear you. I just gotta, whenever I find myself scrolling on eBay or something like that, man, I really just have to, like, physically remove myself from the computer for a little while. You're a photographer if you take pics, Guido. Exactly. I think that's the best part about this community. Only nice people giving good advice or good talk. Exactly. Everyone's cool here. No one's, when I first started the channel, I feel like there was like a mass of people that were trying to see if they could get me to react to things. But I've really just filtered all that stuff out. Like, I don't respond to the negativity or anything like that. I only respond to the people who are getting putting good vibes around, and that's just what I'm attracting around here. Just got the Takamara 135 3.5. Absolutely love the monochrome. Yes, that tack is nice, man. Is a pro photographer a pro because of knowledge or because of pay? A pro photographer is a photographer because of pay. But that doesn't mean that a pro photographer is better than any other photographer. There are plenty of amateur photographers or people who don't do it for work that blow the pro guys out of the water. They take way better pictures. So I always feel like that debate between, like, pro versus non-pro is so stupid, because, okay, if you're making the majority of your income through photography, you're a professional photographer. That's what you do. That's what you put on your tax return. But it doesn't mean you're better than anybody else just because you're a pro. It just means you're better at like marketing, I guess. I love the Z system. Bought a cheap 300 f4, autofocus on 2x converter. F8 provides great VR. Yes, sir. Kevin Mullins, he's awesome. Zach Arias is great as well. Yep. Study Herb Ritz also. Herb Ritz, Ritts. That guy, I talked about him in the last live stream too. He's my like favorite photographer of all time. We all learning, my friend, whatever our level. Yep, exactly. I'm still a student. You know, that's my thing. Like on my Instagram thing, it says like what I am is I'm a student of beauty. That's what I am. Like, I just believe that there's like a lot of beauty in the world, whether it's photography or it's any art in general, or just, you know, relationships. I just see beauty, and I'm a student of it. I want to know why beautiful things are beautiful. That's what I want to know. I want to know why I look at a certain thing and just like get an emotion. You know what I mean? I'm a student of all that stuff. I'm always going to be. I've been really impressed with the FTZ on my Z6. Fantastic. Any older lenses, I like to manually focus anyways. Yep. Especially with that, you know, focus peaking. It's great. I think one thing that defines a professional is that he keeps on learning no matter what. Yeah, I mean, but you know what, Guido, is I've met some photographers through the years, you know, just on different paid jobs and everything, and people just in the industry. And I run into a good amount of photographers that think they're just like have attained to some level of like majesty, and they're just like the shit because they take photos for a living. And having that type of attitude is not conducive to learning new things. It's just not. People who really learn and really take in information always are the humble ones. People who think, you know, I'm no better than anybody else. Just because I take photos does not mean that I'm better than anybody, or that I don't know. It's just I don't think I'm special because I take photos. I really don't. I think one thing that defines a professional, oh yeah, I already read that. Nice thing about the Z line is the quality versus the price. You can get a 35, 50, and 85 for a price of a 1.2. Very true. Find these people in every profession. I just don't see them as professionals, so agree in the humble ones. Yep. Sometimes I think it goes to their heads. Best photographers are people always learning. I don't even compare myself to anyone. You shouldn't, man. You should never compare yourself to, you should just compare yourself to yourself, really. You know, like where you were. I do that. I take stock every single year of just like what type of person I am, what I've learned, where I've come from. It's about growth. And if you go into this comparing yourself to other people or other photographers, like, oh, this guy shoots this and I just can't get there, or their photos are so much better than mine, you're never going to find the unique gift that you have to offer, because you're just comparing yourself to others, and you're going to do things that you think that other people want to see. But everybody's got something unique to give. I like your channel as an online camera club. Love it. That's what I want it to be. That's what I want it to be. Legit. An online camera club. What would be your number one photography tip for new beginners? I consider myself a new beginner since I paused. I want to go with my N65. All right, this is the number one, right? Practice. Every single day, you need to become obsessed with your camera. And not only practice, okay? Practice with your camera, but practice the art of seeing. Like, really go through and notice the subtle differences of things, like this microphone right here. Like, look at the texture on it. Look at the way the light's hitting it. Look at it from different angles. You know what I mean? Whenever you're going to take a photo, study it. Study the subject and train your eye to see things, because everything can be taken. You can take a photo of everything in an interesting way, but it's like searching for treasure. Like, you have to find it. You have to dig deep and find a way to make something look interesting. And the only way to do that is experiment and really pay attention to what you're focusing on. I mean, you have to see things in a different way. That's what photographers do. They learn their gear like the back of their hand till it's just an extension of their body. and then they train their eye to see things in a unique way to tell the story. What somebody may just, or a normal person would just walk by, a photographer can stop there and see the things that make it unique. And it only comes through practice, man. But you have to start getting in touch with things. There's some amateur photographers who just started that blew me away with one single picture, and so many professionals I'm not impressed at all of. Yeah, absolutely. Actually tells nothing about actual quality. There you go. Bro, I was on the fence about your persona, but you are legit. If people can't think outside their box of their frame, it really bothers me as well. Conversation is key to evolve. Thanks for the content. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Because I really am just a real guy. I mean, I said in the beginning of this video, people are either going to love me or they're going to hate me. You know, and a lot of people are going to hate me because I tell the truth. People don't want to hear the truth a lot of times. But, I mean, one thing you always get from me is how I really feel. I'm like, where you stand with me, you know? You ever take color photos? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I just shoot in all black and white. But we shoot in RAW, so they maintain the color data. So, you know, we deliver like probably 80 to 90% color photos in the galleries. Okay, well, this might be a tough one. What was the first photo you took that you got hooked? Made you think, I can do this? Okay, I know exactly which photo that is. So I was on the West Coast. I was in Washington State, and I was by myself, and it was back when I had a real job, and I was traveling up to Mount St. Helens by myself, and I was taking photos everywhere, and I was just nailing shots. I was just everywhere I looked, I was just like seeing something that I wanted to take a photo of. And when I was coming back, it was like the probably maybe like early evening, maybe like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock or something. And there's all these huge trees, and it was like really wet and kind of rainy. There was no rain, but it was like kind of foggy, and just everything was wet. And I was coming around this corner, and the light was coming through the trees in a certain way, and it was hitting the moisture in the air that just cast this huge rainbow in this like way that I've never seen a rainbow. It wasn't an arch. It was just like all the light coming off of the tree was a rainbow. And I just stopped there and I just looked at it, and I took the photo, and you can find it on my Instagram. And it was just like, I was just so blown away by the photo. And I just like felt so grateful that I was there and I saw it and I was there to witness it, that I was like, man, I might be able to do this like for real. Like I might be able to like organize my life around this. And I did. Been here since less than 1,000 subs. Thank you, man. Less than 1,000 subs. I appreciate it, man. I really do. Everybody who's stuck with this channel and like shown me support, I really appreciate it. I grab my camera and feel like it's an extension of my arm. I try to train my eye to see pictures that exist and I can't see them. Exactly. I do everyday practice on that. Good job, man. Christos, you'll keep getting better if you do that. That's what separates the good photographers from the great ones. Training their eye. I know my camera's pretty good and I've learned their limitations. Yep. Gotta go. It's 5 a.m. here, man. Eyes are shutting. Great talk. Hope to do it again. Wolf, good to see you, man. Thank you very much for chiming in, my friend. Camera doesn't matter that much, guys. It doesn't. Everybody wants to convince, YouTube has turned into just a big shopping mall. It's what it is. I mean, there's obviously good content out there, but you got to really search for it. The stuff that gets presented to you and like held up, it's just to get you to buy things. That's it. And I'm not saying it's not wrong to make money, but when it's all about that and it's not about giving back or like providing something useful, it's just, don't focus on the gear, guys. It's every once in a while I'll do gear videos and I'll talk about, I'll review stuff that's out, that's relevant. It's not going to make you a better photographer. A new lens is not going to make you a better photographer though. Mind if I tag you in IG with the photo I took that got me hooked? Man, please do. You guys, don't be afraid to tag me, to send me your pictures, to email me your stuff. I'm going to put like a P.O. box so you guys can send me, people have been mailing me stuff like this sticker right here. dude, somebody from the channel sent me the sticker, and like, I just appreciate this stuff. So don't, trust me, guys, I am not a holier than thou type person. Like, I'm very down to earth. So if you guys want to reach out to me or send me a message or tag me in something, just do it. What's the name of the rainbow tree foggy photo? How do I find it? Okay, let's see here. I'm going to go into my feed. I'm going to find this. So it's probably like maybe halfway down my feed. And I'm not going to hold it up to the camera because I'm streaming in black and white right now, so it's not going to do it any justice. But I'm going to give you the caption on it. And I wish Instagram like had numbers, like everything was numbered, so I could just tell you which photo number it was. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to repost it. After I end this live stream, I'm going to repost it on my Instagram so you guys can see it. "99% of the shots I take and love are from my iPhone just because I had it on me." Dude, Nicholas, you're so right, man. Like, the photos that I take on my iPhone, I love a lot of times. I mean, I talk about this too before. There's this photographer named 13th Witness, and he built his whole photography career. He started with an iPhone and built up his whole following, and now he's like a professional photographer. He shoots for Budweiser and all these different brands. He started with an iPhone, and it's the camera that's with you. And iPhones are great because they're usually fixed focal length. Some of them have zooms, but you just have to think a little bit to make things interesting. And it's a challenge. Just tag you, Nikki, please. I'll check it out once this is done, my friend. We see in images anyway, and most things we think about are imagery. So we get to make these photographs. We get to make those as photographs. Very true. Great live stream, Will. Really enjoying this. Sydney, one of my biggest subscriber, like just total supporters of this channel, man. Like, not only the fact that, like, you comment and like and share my stuff, it's the fact that you give me thoughtful feedback on my videos. Like, that's what I mean. Nobody has to agree with me on everything, but just the fact that people are saying, hey, man, like, I know this takes effort. I know that you're putting stuff out here for us, and like, you're trying your best to like teach. And just giving that feedback and saying, hey, man, we appreciate it. That means so much to me. So thank you, Sydney. Got it. I would like to have watched live with whiskey. Hey, man, next time, I'm doing whiskey every single time. So next time you better bring it. One of the most important things I learned throughout my journey is that light is everything. Nicholas, yes. A photo really, it begins and ends with the story, but the lighting can allow you to tell the story in different ways. So a story can be something that you're presented with, but you can, as a photographer, take it to the next level and really highlight what you want to highlight and almost make something completely different with good lighting. Not only that, but like your photo, for it to be a good photo, the lighting has to be right. Like, it has to grip you. It really does. I think lighting is probably the hardest thing to learn, besides training your eye. And training your eye is different because, like, not everybody can do it. I feel like people have different levels of seeing things, but lighting, you can really learn and make your photos, man, next level if you really put your time in. One of the most important things, you're going to break up my bottle of rare breed. You get the good stuff, man. Have you heard the song Ribs and Whiskey by Widespread Panic? You might dig it. No, but I'm actually going to cue that up on my iTunes right now. just so I can make sure that I listen to it once this live stream is over. Ribs and whiskey. Hey, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the? What do you guys think about the new setup I got for videos? You guys like it? I'm trying to, I don't know, step up the production quality a little bit. You know, make things a little more interesting to watch. Do you guys prefer where I had the videos before, where I was sitting like kind of at my desk and everything was more blurred out, or do you guys like this setup better? Any tea lovers? I don't drink, so I gotta live. I actually love tea. I love tea a lot. I drink black tea all the time. Love the new setup, Will. Thank you for the feedback. I really like it too. I think it's different. I think I like this setup better. It looks more podcast pro, if that makes sense. Yeah. I think it does kind of look like podcast-ish, but it's good because I can kind of just, I have a desk in front of me, so I can kind of take, if I'm talking about a lens or something like that, or a camera, I can kind of have it in front of me. Like a bit of variability. This looks nice. This is great. A lot of background light, just my taste. Yeah, it looks more chill. Awesome. I like this setup. It's yours, man. Awesome. All right, great. You guys are on the same page with me. But yeah, it's good because I can use better audio quality with the mic right here. I feel like it sounds a lot better. And also too, I just feel more comfortable while everything's like spaced out. You know, I got my skull right here, my friend. So I got other cameras set up, and I have a big area to put like cameras and lenses on. So Christos likes the previous setup a bit more. This one's nice too. Well, I am going to be flipping back and forth between the two. I'm the type of person, I need change and I need things to kind of switch up every once in a while. So I'll probably be doing other videos there by my desk too. Hey, Danny, I kept the D700s because of Will. Do not sell your D700s. Please do not. You'll regret it. Well, I've learned that lighting is the most important thing in photography. Yep. I agree. That definitely the most technically important thing, 100%, Sydney. And it's the thing that people struggle with the most. But it's the thing that really sets you apart, because most people are scared of lighting. They really are. I prefer some more bokeh, but I like a lot black and white video with the gorgeous light on you. Thank you very much, Soren. I appreciate it. I think people get hung up too much on sets. This looks great, but it's what gets said that brings the masses. So true. Yeah, guys, trust me, no matter what, the information, the quality of the content is always going to be number one. I mean, I'll never change. But I do want it to make, I want it to be nice. When you look at it, I want it to be fun and professional too, What is your Take Anywhere camera? Nick, my Take Anywhere camera is a Z50. Always. This is my camera I just take with me wherever I go. On this one, I don't like the frame on the left, which is cropped weirdly. Yeah, it is towards the left, but maybe I'll mess around with it a little bit more. I appreciate the feedback, my friend. I'm digging the new look of the videos, Will. They're very nice. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Gonna go shoot pollen tumbleweeds after this. The whiskey is motivating. I joined you. That's it, man. The whiskey gets you going. Tried to shoot in monochrome. It definitely enhanced my skills. Are you planning to do workshops? I appreciate you asking about the workshops. Sarah and I have been going back and forth on it for a while. I don't know. I'm a type of person that if I do something, I want to make sure that it's like I'm all in and it can be very quality. So I have no idea with everything with COVID and all that. Who knows? I mean, once everything's, straightened up with the virus, maybe we can talk about it. But a lot of people have been asking me to do workshops. So I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I never thought about doing workshops, but if people keep requesting it, I guess I have to do it, right? I mean, would anybody else be interested in a workshop with me and Sarah? Like traveling somewhere nice Do like a weekend? Is your wife a second shooter for weddings? Yes, Ken. Me and my wife, we shoot totally. And I wouldn't even consider her a second shooter. She's a professional photographer too. She's phenomenal. So yeah, we just shoot. She stays with the girls. I stay with the guys. Actually, I meant the one that's on the wall at the left as we see you. Anyway, it's late here. I was about to sleep. We saw the live. Have a nice day from Greece. Christos, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for stopping in. That's the one, Wolfie. I can't believe my Z6 usable photos. Workshop would be another revenue stream. If it's there, go for it. Yeah, you know, it would be another revenue stream. So I guess I'll put some more feelers out there. Maybe we can do it. It'd be fun to kind of meet up with people from the channel and, like, you know, maybe do, I don't know, half a week somewhere, like 4 days, you know, and just everybody get together, maybe like 15, 20 of us, and just talk photography and different techniques. And I can just show you, or me and Sarah can show you guys what we know. You're a great teacher and inspiration. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I do a weekend trip shooting. Awesome. Yep, come to Phoenix for a workshop. Ken, you already know, man. I'm hitting you up if I come there. What whiskeys have you got at home? Steven. I have Jefferson's and some Maker's Mark. And we have also Maker's Mark is what I usually drink. I break out the Jefferson's sometimes, but I'll usually drink Maker's Mark. But we have some it's freaking good. It's slipping my mind right now. The Woodford Reserves is up there too. Are you streaming with the Z6? Yes, I'm streaming with the Z6 and I use OBS. Still have to come to Germany. I know. Once this whole crisis is over, we can get on a plane. Marcelo from Brazil. Good to see you, my friend. Come down to Phoenix in winter. 114 today. You know, it's funny, Ken. I actually love the hot weather. I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the channel, but I was actually born in Houston, Texas. So I got Texas blood in me. So I'm pretty much happy when it's like 100, 105. I don't get really hot. Like, I get hot, but it doesn't really bother me. The cold bothers me wicked bad. Bro, I sold my Nikons. My Z6 are gone now. I'm with Canon mostly for the RF glass. I'm still going to watch your channel, though. Wheezy. That's fine, man. Listen, I say this all the time. You do not have to be a Nikon Z6 shooter for my channel. You just don't. It's really about the love for photography. You can skip over the Z6 videos. I'd appreciate the view if you watch it anyways, but trust me, man, you're welcome. You are welcome here. Boston cold is serious. It really is. I mean, just because we live by the water and the wind just slices right off the ocean and just comes in, and it's brutal. Have you used the battery grip for the Z6? Any insight? No, I haven't used the battery grip because I use the Mike grip, and I don't really have an issue with the battery life. When I go to a wedding, usually it's 1.5 batteries for every one of my cameras. I mean, that's not a big deal. I just have to replace the battery once on an 8-hour shoot, so I don't really need any extra batteries. I jumped in the Z6 a year ago. No regrets. No regrets, my friend. Same here. Hell yes to a workshop. Man, there's a lot of yeses to the workshop. Thank you, Sydney. You aren't kidding. It's shitty right now. Nighttime at 3. Hey, also another question I had. What would you guys think about me starting a Monochrome Memoirs like Facebook group, and not a private one, just one that I can advertise that everybody from the channel can kind of come in, share their photos, and talk, and just kind of get discussions going. It wouldn't be private, but something that I could chime in like every once in a while. I'll be in the group, but more like so the community can actually talk to each other, because there's really a lot of great photographers here. I mean, there's some photographers that follow me that are way better than I am. So I'd like to get maybe a group going, but do you guys spend time on Facebook? What's your favorite painter? My favorite painter is Caravaggio. I love his lighting. That would be nice. That would be cool. Would like to share work. FB group would be a good place to share some of our photos in chat. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do, I'm going to set up a Facebook group this week. I'll advertise it on my next video. But yeah, I think that'll be a good idea to kind of get us all a place where everyone can talk, you know, not just the comments. I only do Facebook right now. Awesome. I shoot Z6 and D850. Tried to use a Z6 with OBS and Elgato HD60 Plus. Didn't succeed to get it working. Yeah, it takes a little tweaking. I would be interested in joining a Monochrome FB group. Well, Kerwin, you're on there, brother. I'm going to add you. It does seem my audience is different from the norm. It really does. I can't tell you guys how grateful I am to have people like professional and amateur photographers that are really just interested in learning about the craft and want to be part of a photography community. Like they don't just want to watch videos. Most of the people want to be involved with other photographers that they can talk to and bounce ideas off of and just kind of look at their work and stuff. Hope the D4S goes down a little now that the DSLR is supposed to be dead. Taking the door off for the Miike grip is scary. Yeah, it really just kind of pops out for the Miike grip and goes right back in. I really didn't have an issue with it. No Facebook here. Would love a group, but won't start Facebook again. I get it, man. Some people don't like Facebook. Group would be perfect. Love to see some work from you guys. This chat is nice in the live feeds. Sweet. Are you shipping your merchandise to Europe? We don't sell any merchandise. My merch, my clothes. Yes, I think. I don't. It gets fulfilled by a printing company, so if you can buy it and you put in a European address, as long as you can buy it, they'll ship it to you. And thank you for supporting. Appreciate it. It's just another way I can, kind of pay for stuff. Like, all this stuff costs big money, so it's nice when people buy the merch and stuff like that. I appreciate it. DSLR is only dead if you never pick them up. True that. I love the concept featuring a user's picture in every video. Really good shots for the first two. Really nice, right? Man, Ken killed it with that bird. And I didn't even show you the pictures of his hummingbirds. Really good. But Ken killed it with that portrait of Sam, the first one. And then I can't remember the guy's name that sent me the last one, but the one of his wife and his daughter, man, around the corner. I love that one. I don't think any camera system really dies. Some of the classics are even more expensive now. Exactly. Getting an XG3 soon. Would love to share some pics on the FB group. I'm going to do the FB group, guys, for sure. And I'm going to announce it on my next video. Let me check my battery on the Z6. I want to make sure I don't die. All right. I got a little bit of time here. Get an XT3 soon. Love to share some pics of the FB group. Yeah, for sure. I own a D3400, 3518, and Sigma 17-50. Looking to upgrade. I'm torn between the 7200, 7500, and the Z50. I like the Z50 video, but my Sigma it may not work with it. I hear. So the Z50 and the Z line is an investment in the future. I believe that Nikon's going to be moving in that direction. And if you're stepping up to the Z line, you're probably going to have to spend some money getting new glass. Not that most, I think that Sigma's worked out all their issues with the FTZ adapter, I'm pretty sure. I haven't looked too heavily into it because I really only use Nikon glass, autofocus glass. But my thoughts on that is if you're ready to move into when you're ready to move into the Z line, you should do it to when you're like comfortable spending some money, because you really should start upgrading to the Z glass, especially for video. Don't come to Chicago in the winter time, Will. Oh my God. Chicago winters are the same as Boston. Sydney, I think they're actually worse because you guys have all the Great Lakes and everything, and it's just that pocket right there, Chicago. I've been to Chicago in the wintertime, and it is, for me, not to dump on the city, but for me, it's miserable. I just cannot handle that cold. Z6 or Z7. I've been taking pictures for 30 years, most recently professionally, but still in analogous times. Now I want to get back into full format. Like your videos very much, by the way. Thank you, Bresser Nipson. I really appreciate that. I have a video on why I chose the Z6 over the Z7. You should definitely watch that. But just, it depends on what you're doing. If you're shooting people, or let me put it this way, anything else other than editorial or landscape photography where you're like really cropping and you really rely heavily on cropping, anything else, get the Z6. You save money. 24 megapixels is plenty fine. The low light capabilities are incredible, and the storage like is much more manageable and cheaper. XQD cards and CF Express cards are expensive, man. And 45 megapixels, it fills up quick. My Camera Club is a private group on Facebook. If not private, and get a lot of crap. Yeah, there are trolls. I'm gonna have to do. I'll look into if I have to do it, if I have to set it up private or not. But if I do it public, I'm gonna have to assign some moderators. So you guys are the first ones, with this idea. So I'm probably gonna be assigning some moderators there if I keep it public, so people can just bounce trolls and things like that. Even for landscape, 24 megapixels is enough. It really is. You're right. Unless you're blowing up and you're working in landscapes that you're selling on huge prints. I mean, I'm talking massive prints like billboard size. 24 megapixels is enough. I blew up 12 megapixels from the D700. I blew up those 12 megapixel images huge. You really, the megapixel thing is like kind of just something that they're trying to sell us. Like, oh, this thing has 80 megapixels or 100 megapixel sensor. It's kind of useless. Z6 is up there with the D5 in noise, or slightly better. Yeah, I agree. I shoot stuff at 10,000 ISO all the time with the Z6. It's more than enough. I've blown up prints that were 3x4 feet with 16 megapixels. Never a problem. Chris, you're right. You killed it. Most billboards only have 3 to 4 megapixels. No joke. Yeah, I didn't know that, but you're probably right, Chris, because you can imagine, I'm sure if you're standing on that ledge right next to the megapixel or right next to the billboard, you're not going to be able to tell what it is. It's going to look a blob of colors. You're viewing billboards from so far away anyways. You don't need the resolution to be that high. So think what you can do with 10. Exactly. Yeah, the D700, the 12 megapixels was great. That was a sweet spot, I think. Guido's heading out, getting late here. Had about one drink too many. Great chat. I really liked it too, man. Guido, good to have you, buddy. I have a Z7, 24 megapixels is enough. Run your shots through Gigapixel AI from Topaz. You'll be surprised about the details. Yeah. That the AI from Topaz, man. Topaz Labs putting out some great stuff. All right, guys, my battery's about to die. I don't want this live stream to kill in the middle of the chat here, so I'm going to shut it down. I want to say thank you to everybody, all the support on my videos, especially the last one where I got kind of political a little bit, the donations, just everything that you guys have been doing for the channel and just making this a pleasant place where real photographers and people who are learning, just everybody can come and talk. Doesn't have to be a Z6, doesn't have to be a Nikon. You just have to appreciate photography and just want to be involved with other people that are just trying to make good photos. So I want to say thank you very much to everybody who's been supporting. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to keep doing these live chats. Have a great weekend, you guys.